the studio. I'm just doing a from side, outside. I'm looking at nature and all available in my location. I just had to go for some stuff, and I decided to go around where nature can be felt, and to talk to us today. I want to welcome you to this brief broadcast. It's going to be brief because I'm actually not. I'm in transit and doing some stuff, carrying out some activities. So I felt that I should just speak to us briefly because it's been a while and a long time that we actually had a conversation. And very, very well. We all know the things that are happening. My name is Kelly Chambers, anyways, and of course, I'm speaking not from the studios of Biafra Global Network, but from outside. And of course, we there's always a way that nature affects and gives us an effect of what we're doing. And at the same time, we're able to just narrate and look at things critically, and of course, the way we should look at them. I want to welcome you. I have been observing lots of things happening, the things that are going on. This is nature. Maybe I should show you the environment so you can see that we're actually in a place where nature is exhibited. I'm in a garden here. As we look at nature together, and at the same time, some people will be wondering, where is this place? Well, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. I want to thank you all. I want to thank you all. I want to thank you all. It's been a long time. Been online. We're working hard underground. Not Jesus, but we're working hard, trying to do the things we need to do, and at the same time see that we get work. I am very far place from my location, and I decided to the garden. I want us to look at what is happening in Biafra, because I know that Biafra project is our project, and anything that concerns us all, we should be very, very concerned about the activities and the things that are going on. Lots of things are going on. Thank you so much, Ego. I can see you here. I appreciate you so much. Good to have you. Chikoki is in control. Yes, of course, he's in control, and that is why we have come to nature, so that we can have a feel. The garden is by the roadside, so we see vehicles and all of that passing. And it's a hospital location, anyways. A hospital location. So using that means to reach out to us. Now, Biafra project concerns us all. Of course, basically, we know what it means to be, to be people who are under slavery. We have experienced so many things. We have experienced slavery. We know what slavery is all about. We know what we don't know what freedom tastes like. We were born in slavery. We grew up. We are growing up in slavery. I won't say we grew up. We are growing up because we are still growing until the day we die. We grew up in slavery and we have experienced so many things. Now today you can see the fighting, infighting, lots of frustration everywhere. Some people are frustrated. Some people are feeling very devastated about the whole thing. Some people are feeling very pained. Some people are feeling very confused. Some people are feeling very, out of place. And it's so terrible that lots of things are happening to our people. Yes, it's like that, because when it comes to things that have to do with getting yourself free from the slave master, definitely you have to look at the odds that have been imputed in the people for a long time. We have suffered, Biafrans. But my problem is that most of us yet are still the ones given the slave masters the impetus, to hold us down or to keep us in slavery. Now, I may not clearly, in details. Maybe when I am able to, do more of relaxation and relaxing and speaking, I'm going to say so many things that it's very, very important for me to say to us and for people to understand. But I want you to know something today, that you shouldn't be surprised at any of the activities going on right now. You shouldn't be surprised. That doesn't mean that Biafra's project is gone underground or gone aground, or Biafra project is in comatose. No, that's not what it means. You see, there is something about coming to a point where there is a need for sieving. When you talk about sieving, that means you're going to remove the chaff from the wheat, you know, and of course, or the weed from the wheat, you know. And Biafra project has come a long way. Has it's been a very massive one. Biafra project is a massive one, and lots of things are involved in Biafra project, especially concerning the critical situation we find ourselves, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu not with us. The Bible talks about, when you strike the shepherd, the sheep scatters. It is a fundamental rule in life. And when you talk about the shepherd and you talk about the sheep, then you must understand how the two work together. If you are going to talk about the shepherd, you can't talk about a shepherd without sheep. And of course, when you say sheep, sheep, it is plural. Whether singular or plural, this it's the same word, not sheeps. So sheep. So you can't talk about the shepherd without the sheep, and you can't talk about the sheep without the shepherd. Because if there's no shepherd, there's going to be confusion and scattering. But when you have the shepherd, and then you have a control system of control, and that system of control comes from the language, the understanding that the shepherd has about the sheep. When the shepherd and the sheep understand their language, they would all work together. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had always been with us and bringing the words of Chukwukike to us, and of course giving us knowledge of what we should know and the things we should do and how we should carry things on and do what we have to do. Suddenly, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, whom every one of us is, following, that's those of us who are following. When I say every one of us, I'm talking about those who actually were following Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in truth. He was cut off from our midst. He was taken away for a while. Of course, we know he's coming back, and then suddenly we begin to see lots of things happening, and some of us are beginning to get weak in our spirits. Those of us who are getting weak in our spirit, I want to encourage you. You don't need to be weak. And please, I want to encourage us also. Please, those of you who are fond of trying to justify, one camp, whether the DOS or the Simon's crew, you should be very, very careful, because you don't justify error with error. Simon's crew, DOS crew, every one of them have shown enough evidence that they are destructive and not constructive. They're not constructive. What I expected, I've said it several times to the members of the DOS. If you want to prove that you are professional, if you want to prove that you don't have a hand in what happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, if you want to really prove, because the issue of Biafra is a national issue, you cannot do it. You can't wait for the person who is in trouble to come to tell you what happened to him. No, it doesn't happen anywhere. You want Biafrans to, because lots of things have happened, with lots of killings of our men, which some members of the DOS have a hand in. The kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu also, some members of the DOS have a hand in. So the fundamental nature of the whole thing that is happening is critical and pointing to the fact that there are questions that need to be answered by certain people in the DOS. And of course, I'm not talking about the situation of now. The situation of now is like that because somebody like Simon who allowed himself to be influenced by Azuka and others. Of course, he himself had that criminal tendency in him. If not, he will not be influenced by criminality. Nobody can be. If you have principles, yes, everyone has tendency of criminality. Every human, because that is why you have the good and the bad. But the ability to be principled help you to control. You see the man who goes, not because he doesn't have the will to change his mind, but because he had made up his mind. So the will power is resident in us and given to us by Chukwukike to do the right thing. And if we don't exude the power of the will in the right direction, we're going to always have the wrong things happening to us. So the DOS, I have said it several times. If you want to prove to us that you are in line or you are innocent of what has happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and you are in tune with what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been preaching, which of course from your body language and everything that you're doing, there's no proof that you want Nnamdi Kanu and preaching. Including the fact that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself said that once you don't see me, you don't find me, you know what to do. Burn down Nigeria. about the zoo. We are not in the zoo. Now he said bound on Nigeria times to us. I can't play it now because I'm not in the studio to do what I have to do. I would have played it again because I always want to remind us of critical things, very, very important things, playing them over and over so that we can fall in line and continue what we are doing in line with what we're supposed to, and of course the actions that we are supposed to be carrying out regarding that has happened for the past 2 years, 3 months or so. 2 months, Mazen Namikano has been kidnapped and extraordinarily renditioned. And one basic thing that I expected of the DOS is that they set up a fact-finding person alone. It's not about my expectation. It's about the expectation of Biafrans. The common expectation of any group of people, whether a company, that a nation, once something happens to your leader, the first thing that happens is that there's a fact-finding committee that is set up to look into these things. And as long as the members refuse to look into what happened to the leader of the nation, dear friends, please, I want you to reason. Don't get carried away by activities of the now. Be controlled, and be guided of the movement itself. That means the right judgment, the ability to adjudge rightly, comes from the fact that you need to understand things not through emotional perspective, but by reasoning and constructive reasoning. That's just it. So when you want to look at anything critically, you must adjudge it by the senses. Don't get carried away by the activities of now. Oh, this one, DOS has done this. This was no. We have not got. Leave the issues of the things. The fact here is, Mazen Namdekan was kidnapped. We need a fact-finding committee. From the fact-finding committee, you are going to trace all other evils. You will know who is involved in the extrajudicial issues and the extra wickedness going on in our land. Why would any reasonable people who understand what it means, for a leader to be kidnapped and how it affects the nation, to keep quiet and not do the right thing when they know that is the right thing to do? Why would anybody do that? Why would the DOS just sit back and refuse to go for the real thing? Setting up a fact. See, the fact-finding committee will prove. I heard somebody telling me that you see, we already know those who have committed the crimes, who are committing a crime in Biafra land. That is not professional. You don't just come and tell us you already know. Some of us in the DOS have done some work. We know those, and we're waiting for the right time. When is the right time? The right time was as soon as he was kidnapped. That's the right time. So you don't just, I don't know why. The only reason I tell you why any of them would pretend as if they don't even know that there should be a fact-finding committee, or the only reason why anybody will still sit and pretend as if they have forgotten the issue of setting up a fact-finding committee is because they might be linked to what has happened to Mazen Namdekan. When the women began this stuff, yes, fact-finding will solve the fundamental problems. Thank you, Ego, for that. Yes, nibbling in the bud. That's the truth. That's the truth. You see, all this rigmaroling, all this confusion, all these nonsense arguments we're having here and there, the only thing that will solve it is the fact-finding committee of what happened to Mazen Namdekan. So for those who are saying the DOS members are not, they have not compromised, they are good, they are this, and for those who are saying Simon is not compromised, Simon is this and this, the only thing that will solve it is the fact-finding committee. I tell you, the fact-finding committee will link the corruption, will link the criminality, even to Simon's regime. And after Simon's regime, because Simon's regime is gone. Simon's regime is gone. The only thing that can do it is that fact-finding committee. So why are we shying away from it? Why are we just dancing around, beating around the bush? Why are we doing all of that? Why? Why are we doing all of that when we know the solution to this stuff? The solution is we get fact-finding committee, professionals from all walks of life, or at least basic walks of life, experienced people experienced people, and then even some people who are not Biafrans, maybe 3-4 people who are not Biafrans in that committee. You have a committee of 10 men, a 10-man committee. You have about 6 of them Biafrans, 6 not Biafrans, professionals who are known to give in, who are not people who are experienced, especially in security matters and in criminal matters. Very professional people, and we have them all over Biafra land. We have them everywhere in the world. All of them are culpable. That's the truth. So all these arguments were that Simon is on the right track. He knows the DOS this. This one, Chinonsa is not a criminal. Chike is not this. These are nonsense. This is what illiterates do. Illiterates keep arguing rather than see everything want to. That is what how God has given us the intelligence. In fact, in the world today, this standard intelligence is in operation. It is common sense. Set up a fact-finding committee. Let the people sit down. Then we look at the facts. I don't mind if they want me to be in that fact-finding committee, but I'm not saying I will have to be. If you don't need me to be there, if you don't like me to be there, for those who said, yeah, he's now against Simon, he's now okay. Maybe I'm compromised in that sense. They don't want these people. Now, I've told you guys several times, I'm not interested in the position. I'm not interested in whether, if I was interested in position, I would have, when they told me that they can put my face on the coin of Biafra, I think I would have embraced it. Somebody was telling me yesterday that my problem is ego. And I began to wonder because I was giving him facts about Simon. Ego can bear me witness. I was giving him facts about Simon, and he said I have ego problem. That's the problem. That he wants to tell me the truth. That mine is ego. And I wanted to give him analysis, and to put shame on his face because when people are criminal, when people are just criminally minded, and they don't want to face the truth, they look for something to just them. When you tell them the truth, they want to now come after you, whether to threaten you or to make you to talk to you down. I gave him the facts. I said, 1, Simon and Azuka decided to put the monies of Biafra into the purse of the husband of Azuka. What does that tell you? That is criminal. 2, has refused to give them account of these funds for the past 1 year plus. What does that mean? That's criminality. All the contributions that were made, including the ones that were made in February 2023 election, they were including the 1,000 men, everything that was done. The impression was that there will be no election. Those monies were contributed for that purpose. In the end, the election held peacefully, without any restriction, without any hindrance. The elections were held. Now, today he has told you that he has in June, also in May, June. They told you they bought a house in Maryland, USA. Till today, your prime minister has not gone to speak from the house. Neither has Azuka, who is or Ngozi, who are in America. None of them have gone there to speak from the house. But now they are telling you they are going to have a convention. You see, our people are so. Is it that it seems they understand that most of our people are just daft. That is why they use words. The other time he told you he was going on tour, and he now used the word visual. You didn't understand visual, so he thought he was moving one place to the other to have to have meetings. Now he has told you that they are going to be having a convention. Now, what does convention mean? Anybody could organize the convention. Here I am now. I can organize a convention. Some people meet me here, want to discuss. Convention is just an event. It has nothing to do with the practical nature of It doesn't at all suggest referendum. He said an event. Convention, referendum meeting to discuss with people. Every meeting that we have been having is concerning referendum because every action that we try to take is still a discussion about referendum. It's still a convention. So every discussion tilts towards. So why do you want to have an extra and then collect money from people, and then you want them to pay to come to discuss about their own referendum? And the referendum you're going to discuss, the United Nations is not the part of it. The international communities are not part of it. No renowned organization is part of it. Please like this video as you're watching so that it can go viral. Nobody's the people who would organize the referendum are not there. You are just organizing referendum and you are calling some people and you say in Finland you want to organize and you are doing it in one hotel in Finland and what anybody could organize. I can organize a party and call it anything. I can call it just to manipulate you and deceive you because they know the people will be they want to. In the midst of the convention, going to fix a date for referendum. I said, can our people be this daft? It's Iboribo. Thank you so much, Ego, for that. Can our people be this daft? Somebody's telling you that they are going to fix a date for referendum in a convention. Ah, Lord have mercy. United Nations is not represented. Let them show us United Nations represented in that convention. Two, talking about the headquarters. According to Simon, the headquarters is in Maryland. He bought the house. He told you he's going to put the banner, large banner in front of the house. He has not done it today. He told he's going to put the coat of arms up there and the right-hand side up top. He has not done it today. He's now going to organize a convention in Finland, not in the headquarters. He told you. Now, how long is it that you people are under a spell or that spell? Because you see, spell does not. People who are truthful don't fall under spell like that. No, you can't. You can't. It is people who want to be deceived, people who want to be manipulated, people who are wicked for themselves that can easily be caught by spell. You can't say which spell do you want to hold people like us that are truthful? How do you want to hold us? Which spell? Go to any juju house, go and call our name there. Your juju will fail you, everything will scatter and you are going to go mad. Tell someone and Azuka who always patronize juju men, tell them to go take my name to juju. I've told them for one juju it came the other time when having meeting, when we called them ESN members commanders to speak, when we invited Simon in the month of the month of February, sorry. And he now, instead of him to come for the meeting, he now went on air to call us criminals. She was showing us when we now along the line, I told her to her face, I said, you are the one giving information from this meeting to Simon. Instead of Simon to come for the meeting, he's contracting one of them to give him the list of the people in the meeting to him so that he will go and blackmail us on air. And that was how that Judith, when she showed some signs, I put it to her straight. You are the one giving Simon, you are a criminal. You are evil. Then suddenly she opened up. That was when she was exposed. She now started showing us juju, took her phone and pointing on juju, said she's going to do it. I said, call my name in that shrine and see what's going to happen to you. Call my name in that shrine, you'll go mad immediately. Why didn't she call my name in that shrine? Teaching everybody all those juju things they work for. The guy was telling me yesterday that my stuff is arrogance. Now, we invited Simon. I wanted to tell him, give him these points. ESN members were complaining about not being funded. We showed concern. We called Simon. Simon, something is happening. People are not being funded. They said they're not being funded. Can we have a meeting with them? These are strong men. These are men Mazin and Amdekano recruited. Let's discuss with them. Simon refused to. Rather, he went on air to call us blackmailers, to call us criminals. Now, what is that? Who is an egocentric person here? Is it me that is calling for a meeting for us to solve a problem? Or us that calling for a meeting? Let me just say me for now, because I was actually, the person was talking to me yesterday, so he was calling me an ego. It's somebody who is egocentric. He has ego. Now Simon was invited for a meeting, refused to come for the meeting. Who is the one having the ego? Simon was invited for the second meeting, he refused to come. Who is the one having the ego? Simon was told about talking about the issue of the way he talked to people and all of that. He told the people he was going to give them stop the election. He didn't stop it, and then arrogantly he still came online and started doing some stuff. Who is the ego person here? Simon wants his face to be on the currency, and I said his face will not be on the currency. I said no, it can't work. You can't put people's face on the currency. And they said they're going to put my face on a coin. I said no, we are not up to that. We have not reached that level. So who is the ego person? I don't want my face to be on the currency. If I'm an ego person, I'll take it. Put my face on the currency. Let Biafra see my face on the currency. That's ego. But because of his ego, he and Azuka refused to. They want their faces to be on the currency. Azuka had to call Victor Uzaganubi, ask him, and said, "Are you the one who told Kelechi that we want that is telling Kelechi that our faces shouldn't be on currency?" You see who is egocentric here? Who is the one of ego? And the guy just was telling me about ego yesterday, and I said, what kind of human beings are all these? Looking for viewership, and I hear he's busy, making lots of broadcasts and calling my name everywhere. I don't know. I told him yesterday. I said when we insisted that the currency of Biafra will not carry the faces of any of these idiots, Did you come out with any news? Did you come out to publish to Biafrans that people were trying to put Simon and Co were trying to put their faces on the currency? You didn't. But all you were looking for is how to reach Simon. There was a time he contacted me last year that he wants to reach Simon. Now, all they're looking for is just connection, their viewership to grow. Look at Raf, who stood against lies. Now who told you that Simon is a criminal and told you that a cloned account, putting money there, and now he's now there praising the same people. Now people are unstable. So I was telling the guy who is the one who is egocentric, but he ran away. He really ran away. He said, I can't stay in this meeting again. When he saw that I countered him, because he saw that I was not. In fact, even before the meeting, I heard that he refused. He didn't want me to come into the meeting. He was telling them he didn't want to speak with me. They had to make sure that he puts one certain time. I apologized to him. I said I called him. See, our people are now. Why is he not counter what I am saying? I'm giving you facts. You are telling me about ego. Who is the egocentric person? Is it the person who says I don't want my? That's what I said. I said I don't want my face to be on Biafra currency. But Simon and Co want their faces to be. Who is the ego people? They are the ones having the ego because they want to be everywhere. They want to be. Said it any day I deviate from truth. Let me die. Let me die a richer death. And any of you who is you're going to grow your platform. All you are doing is to grow your platform. You know, ego says if one is organizing such program of such magnitude as he claims, are the list of external bodies attending, e.g. That's what we're saying. United Nations representatives and all of that. Anything that has to do with referendum convention for a nation, there must be international representatives in that place. There must be international representatives. Once there are no international representatives, forget it. That is 419. That is criminal. So everything someone is doing right now, he's just deceiving people and collecting your money. He's a criminal. And I keep telling him that he's a criminal. I have evidences. He has called me a criminal. And I told him to bring the evidences. But we are still going to meet in court because he's going to prove to the world that I'm a criminal. But I say he's a criminal. I still calling him a criminal. I'll call him to the end. You hear that roaster crowing. He's a criminal, and I'll tell him. And I have evidences. I'm not afraid to say it. But we are going to meet in court. Let's get our freedom. Let everything go down. He can patronize all the juju houses and they should go anywhere and do whatever they do. I'll still be here. And we're going to meet. You're calling people criminals and all of that. Dear brother, most humble. Thank you so much, Ego. I thank you so much. Our people don't want to tell themselves the truth, Ego. Honestly, somebody who says I don't want my face to be in Biafra currency. No, you can't bribe me with that because that was a bribery. When they saw I was countering, they said, and my face will even. I said, for what? I said, no, I don't need it. With this thing we are doing is not right. We can't put our faces on Biafra currency. They want to put Gozara Obueze. They want to put I'm just imagine the mess. Please like this video and share on all your social media platforms as you're watching, and subscribe to this channel if you have not. This is the time to tell ourselves the truth. This is the time to set things aright. If we truly want to get our freedom, this is the time. All this nonsense we are doing, that is why we are confused. I'm telling you, the only solution to all this confusion, some of you don't know your left from your right because you are not principled. And so because you're not principled, you're not able to decode the messages from Mazin Amekano and what should be utilized at crisis times. Because let me tell you, everything that is happening now has a solution in every message Mazin Amekano has given initially, if you don't know. But it only takes principles to discover it. It only takes principles to discover it. If you want to get the solution to everything that's happening right now, go to Mazin Amekano's messages. But because most of us are not principled, that's why we're confused. Some are talking about why would DOS be there and for 2 years no fact-finding committee against someone who is a member of, who is the leader of Biafra and also the chief or the chairman of the DOS, kidnapped, extraordinarily rendition, and everyone knows where he is now, that he's in the KG Dingy dungeon of the DSS. Everybody knows where he is, yet nobody is doing anything. You know he's in the hands of the enemies. We're saying just set a fact-finding committee. How did he get into the enemies? And somebody can justify this nonsense, and you are justifying these people because you think because you are thinking of the name Chike Dozie by facts. And that is why I will continue. That is why the accountability and transparency group would always stand tall. Thank you so much, Ego. ability to decode it from mass dynamic messages. That is why accountability and transparency group, no matter how few we are going to grow large, because it is only truth that will set us free. And I want to tell you people, every other thing that any other group you are seeing coming as accountability and transparency group, once it is not the original, it is not the original, because accountability and transparency is one. So anybody, any other person, as long as you don't see me there, because of course I'm a broadcaster, as long as you don't see me there, you don't see Papa Ejima, you don't see Ego, you don't see Minrugo and other people who are standing on the path of truth, Evangelist Barbara, then you know that it's not the real. Because the real one is the one that organized the meeting where some people were told they were going to go on suspension and they decided to break away. You don't break away and take a name and say you want to use the name and you want to counter the other name. It doesn't work. So we're not fighting with anybody. I want to let everybody know. I'll use this opportunity to say it. Papa Ejima has said it several times that some people have been suspended. They are not part of accountability group. I'm not going to mention names here because that's not my interest. I'm not here to bring anybody down. But I'm going to tell you the facts here that accountability group is one. So any other launching, we have already launched our website and launched a group. Any other launching you are seeing is not from us. Accountability group is one. You can't be in a group and they say they are going to suspend you, and then when they say they are suspend you, you now say you are going to go, you are no more going to be part of the group. You want to leave the group and you don't want to be part of Biafra project again, and you want to be away from Biafra project, and suddenly you now appear somewhere and start talking about accountability, the same name of the group that wants to suspend you, and now you now say you want to launch something else. It doesn't work anywhere. That is rebellion. No matter how old you are, that is rebellion, and that is basic of what do we call it now? Let me not use the word. That's felony. Let me just use the word rebellion. You don't break out from a group and use the name of that same group you break out to begin to cause confusion. No, it doesn't happen. You can rename your stuff and do what you want to do. That's how it's done. If I decide to leave accountability and transparency group today, I won't leave because they want to suspend me. That is how you know people who are egocentric and people who are humble. I would serve my suspension. I remember when I was in, let me tell you people this story, because sometimes we have to use life stories to analyze some stuff. When I was in Assemblies of God Church, at the time, I was suspended. And people were telling me, leave the church, leave that place. I didn't leave because I was suspended. I did something wrong. I know I did something, and I was suspended. And after I served that suspension for 1 year, I already made up my mind I was going to leave that place, but I made sure I served it. I stayed there until they lifted the suspension, because I am part of the organization. And I was suspended, Assemblies of God Church. And after the suspension, I now decide to leave. That is when I can leave. Not when they suspend me, I want to break out and then go out and start blackmailing. You don't need all. Please like this video as you're watching. Like this video. Akwanwa, good to see you here. Thank you so much. We must continue. Victory is ours. It's ours, yes. All hail accountability group. Thank you so much, Akwanwa. You don't leave a group. You don't just break away from a group and then claim the name and start arguing with that name and fighting. You don't do that. It's childish, it's unreasonable, it makes no sense. It shows your arrogance, it shows your pride, and it shows that you're not committed, and it shows that you cannot be relied on. That's the fact. If accountability group suspends me for anything wrong now, I would serve the suspension, and after the suspension, if I want to leave, I'll leave. If I don't want to be part of accountability group, I won't break away. I'll first appeal and get myself the suspension lifted, because I know what I did is wrong. I know what I did is wrong. Unless what I did is not wrong, and of course evidence is the proof. If the whole group says you are wrong in this thing, you have to go on suspension, I will be humble enough to take the suspension, not to break out and begin to tell Biafrans, we are the accountability group, we're going to be launching. When you know that where you are coming from, you left, they are the ones bearing that name, and you are breaking out. If you are breaking out, then you go. If you are breaking out, you go. Nothing stops you from taking another name. One of the idiots just came up, was telling us, let's leave the name, let's give them the name. How can you break out from a thing and take the name, and somebody in the group who claims to be part of you is telling you now, let's give them the name to avoid trouble? Where does that happen? Which trouble? Somebody is coming to you, you have a property. You have a land, for instance. Somebody comes and claims your land, and then you say, oh, let me just give them the land for peace to reign. How does it work? How? when the land is your family land? How does it? How? What? Who is looking for the trouble? Is it not the person who is now trying to, um, cause some kind of confusion, or someone who is working against the group that is already existing, that is causing the trouble? So you guys must understand this. This is the time to begin to tell ourselves the truth. If you are genuine and truthful, you don't need to begin to fight other people on the premise of deceit. You don't need all of those details. Why must you go and come out? The accountability group tells you you have done something wrong. We're going to suspend you. You now say, in fact, I don't want to be part of the group again. I want to be on my own. In fact, I don't want to. My family have been complaining. They have told me to withdraw from Biafra project, and so this time I'm going to be away. I'm not going to continue this Biafra project. I'll just be on my own. I don't want to. Then suddenly, you just appear somewhere. We are accountability group, and we are this, and we are going to be been quiet on this matter for a long time. But I just keep saying some stuff, and I keep smiling. Sometimes we just have to say some stuff. It's drizzling here anyway, so don't mind me. The rains are coming. Understand? Why would you claim to be humble if you cannot stand to be stand to be corrected or to be punished? You believe in. How then are you going to break out and Biafrans are going to trust you to commit Biafra struggle in your hand when you are showing that you are arrogant and proud? It's not about age. It's about self-discipline. It's about self-discipline. Unstable people, they are. Thank you so much, Ego. That's it. The original is full of light. That's it. ATG. And I don't appear because, of course, as a broadcaster, I always appear. And I don't appear there. Just know that it is not accountability and transparency group. It is the breakaway faction. Breakaway. It's not a faction. It's not a faction. It's just a breakaway, and they're using the name. Some of them have been sending threat messages. And if, the problem is that they always want to call my name, and I just keep them quiet because I know they are fools. Some of them are just, sometimes when we say some things, it will be as if we are bragging. But on a good day, some enter the places I enter. That's the truth. The places I've entered in life, the things I've done in life, they can't. But I see them talking to me, talking and calling me. There's one, I don't want to call his name. He was just talking anyhow. I just when I go ignore, because I know he's a fool. He's a fool. Calling my name and talking anyhow. And you can't, let me inform those people and any other person, you can't blackmail me in Biafra. It's not possible. I'm clean. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Get it right. I've done some things wrong, but I'm clean. You see the spirit of Biafra? You see the right spirit for Biafra? My intention is pure. Put your face in quickly. Some of you who are even saying that they are not giving account of the resources. Some of you, if your name was a part of the signatories, even in the account we opened, the one we decided to leave, we decided to abandon because of this same unstableness of our people. We abandoned the registered name we had. We abandoned the account, and we decided to do a fresh thing. Even on that, I'm not a. It's not about my name being in anything, but I want accountability. You see that word accountability is set for that. Now I want you to. I just had to say all of this stuff, but the fact here is, let's go back to what we were talking about. If they are genuine, if they want to prove to us that they are genuine, they should set up a fact-finding committee to solve this problem. This fact-finding committee will solve the problem and the confusion we have in Biafra project. But because they will not do it, because we know some of them compromised, some of them has a hand, some of them have hand in what happened to Mazin and Mikano. Some of them had. God bless you. Thank you so much, Akon. Good. They have used blackmail, character assassination against you, dear brother. Chikokuki Abema is with you and will continue to uplift you. Thank you so much, Ego. Of course, they will keep doing that. And that is, when people cannot stand facts, they begin to look for corners, to cut corners, where just to blackmail. I don't go. Have you ever seen me make people's private lives? I accuse anybody of is professional. If I talk about money, I talk about money. If I talk about the promises and all that, I don't go to their private lives or try to look for something to blackmail them. To blackmail, I don't do that. There's so many people who are in this Biafra project that told so many things about their private lives. To me, it's not my business. I've heard some people that they told me that they are this, they are prostitutes, they are they, all of that, and I don't have time for that. My problem with anybody is the fact. And if you think that you can blackmail me and just you rubbish me, you can't now. How do you want to do that? In fact, you are putting yourself in more trouble because God knows my heart is pure. You are putting yourself in worse trouble, and that trouble will consume you and your family. And fourth generation, every one of you who are looking for, who look for in Biafra, the spirit of Biafra will consume you and your family. Those of you who are looking for people to blackmail, the spirit will consume you all. Continue to stand on the truth. Thank you so much, Akon. I will. Thank you. The spirit of Biafra will consume you all. So if you don't know, this is just a freestyle broadcast I'm doing here, and I'm going to continue doing it until I leave this area I am, because I'm in an hospital area, and of course, for some stuff. I won't tell you what I'm here for. Oh my! It's far from my area anyway. It's about 4 hours from my location. So I'll be here for about 2 weeks, doing some stuff, and then go back to, and then I can broadcast from the studio directly, and then have people like Papa Jima, Evangelist Barbara, and other people, come in who want to be part of it, and we talk and discuss some critical matters. But I tell you, we are working seriously. Accountability and Transparency Group has been launched. So any other launching you are hearing is not part of it. It's just people who broke away and they just want unnecessary trifle. We're not interested in that. We're not interested in all those arguments, all those they call it bar saga. We're not interested in that. We didn't come to Biafra project for all this kind of nonsense. We came for serious business, and that's why I want to stop this broadcast now, because it's raining and it seems it's touching the phone, and I don't want it to go off. With water getting into it. Instead of concentrating on things that are beneficial to the development of our people, all they do is gossip, talk about irrelevant issues. It's so disheartening. So disheartening. Our people are confused, and I will tell people more why why this confusion is, and what is really the cause. Now, slavery is a very serious problem. Of course, intellectuals don't buy saga. They don't. Intellectuals face facts. That is why you see, Ego, you remember the meeting of yesterday? Instead of the guy to come with talk about facts, he wanted to bring in saga. Because he saw that he cannot argue that matter. So all he wanted to come in is to talk about ego. How? He cannot prove it. He's talking about ego. Somebody come and tell me ego. Somebody who rejected offers, you are telling the person that the person has ego. How can I reject offers that is detrimental to Biafra and you say I have ego? Does it mean that not to have ego, it means to embrace criminality? I don't do that. If embracing criminality will prove to you that I am not egocentric or I don't have ego, then forget it. You are going to call me an ego person for your lifetime, because I will never. You see, Biafra project. I will never accept anything criminal. I will never. I know it's not possible. It's not possible, because right now we are doing. We are talking about the accounts and all of that. And registration, the account, the raising, opening the accounts. I am not in the accounts. I'm not even I'm not even ready for that. I'm not interested. I want the right thing to be done. Let the people be there, but we will monitor it very well. Thank you so much, all. I'll talk to you, some other time. My stuff is actually, the rain is now dealing with me here, and I don't want it to destroy what I'm doing, the phone. So thank you so much. I'll talk to you maybe later in the evening or tomorrow. God bless you, Rego. Thank you. Thank you. Let me end this.